Hey everybody, it's Matt with Patriot Golf USA, and what I'm going to do in this hopefully quick video is show you how I'm going to pull this Titleist head off of this steel shaft and prep it to get ready for a new shaft that we're going to put in. So I'll do my best to kind of hold everything up so you can see it, but what we've got here is a new Titleist T100, new black one that's out. What we're going to do is I'm going to pull this shaft and I'm replacing it with a blacked out graphite shaft for this customer. So I'll show you now the way that I personally pull heads for steel shafts. Now, if you're doing graphite, it's a completely different way of doing it, the way that I do it. I'll do another video on pulling graphite. But if you have a graphite shaft that you're trying to pull a head on, please do not do it the way that I'm showing you right now. You will ruin the shaft. So there's several ways that this can be done. Well, probably three ways. All of them require heat to the hosel. So we have to be able to apply enough heat to this hosel to break down the epoxy and basically turn it into powder. It takes a lot of heat. You know, you're looking at somewhere between 1500 to 1700 degrees of constant heat. Now, I think the epoxy needs to get to a little over 200 degrees to actually break down. Now, I'm not 100% positive on that, but it needs to get quite hot in order for it to break down. So most people that are starting out or haven't done it before will use a heat gun. A heat gun is very slow, but it's very effective as far as not messing anything up because it doesn't apply a huge amount of heat. It just takes a little bit more time. Plug in a heat gun and you can do it the same way that I'm going to do it right now. The other way is using just a little mini torch where the flame is more controlled to just that hosel. And there are times that I'll use it if I got very, very short hosels or if I've just got something going on with the shaft or something like that where I don't want to apply a lot of heat to this. Me, big torch with the yellow tank. This is the hottest you're going to get. This is MAP gas, so it gets hot very, very quick. The key here is to be patient. Hold this thing away. You don't want to put the heat right to this thing because you will torch these things really quick. So with that being said, I'll just step back and maybe get a little bit better picture and I'll show you what I'm doing. Keep the club turning the whole time so that you're not burning it in one spot and just kind of moving it up and down. Now, this really does just kind of take practice to know how long to do this for. Generally, about 15 seconds with a torch like this. Mini torch, maybe 30 seconds. Heat gun, maybe a minute or longer. So just go back and forth. And then from there, now I'm going to grab the shaft. It's actually, oh wait, my thing there turned off. Turn that back on. Sorry about this. Just got this handy dandy thing that's supposed to follow me around. There we go. So I'm going to put this into the vise right now just to hold the shaft and give it a twist and the head pops off. Now, from here, you need to make sure that you act pretty quick while everything is hot in here. So what I'll do is I'll take a pick and I'll get all the way down the very bottom because there's going to be some epoxy that is still in there and you can feel it coming out. I would recommend wearing some type of glove right now. This is a little warm right here, but it's not hot. But again, if you've never done this before, it's really easy to put your hands where they don't need to be. So, but taking this thing and really just getting in there to where I can hear just metal on the bottom. I've got, these are a 355 tip hosel, so I've got a 355 drill bit that I go in and just make sure that I get some of the harder epoxy out of it. And then the main thing we're going to use is this right here. It's just a hosel cleaner wire brush. That's what's going to go in and really clean this thing out. And just kind of go in and, you know, you're going to see the epoxy come out. Take a wire brush, clean this thing, get some of the epoxy off there, put my drill in the opposite direction, and then just kind of work it all the way around. Take a rag, wipe this off, down in there, and you're not going to be able to see it, but we've got a clean hosel. There's a little bit of residue on the sides, which we'll clean up with acetone and some cotton swabs. Get a cotton swab and some acetone, just go in there and clean it up, and then we'll have a nice clean hosel ready to accept a new shaft. So that's what I'm showing you Right here, the shaft that I pulled out just looks like that. We can apply a little bit more heat here, pull this old ferrule, pull the weight out, scrape off the rest of it, and now we've got a brand new pulled shaft that can go into another head. And yeah, we're good to go. So that is the proper way that I pull a steel shaft. Now, again, if you're doing a graphite shaft, it's going to be different. You're going to need a graphite shaft puller, because whenever I'm pulling this head off steel, I'll take and I'll just kind of twist it like this to pull off. If you do that with graphite, you're going to ruin the graphite. You're going to break all the fibers in there. And if you're trying to reuse that graphite shaft, you're not going to be able to do it. And even if you're not going to reuse that graphite shaft, there are times that if you do that, it won't break free and you'll end up pulling pieces of the graphite and it'll stay stuck in the hosel. Then you're using other things to get it cleaned out, and it's just a pain. So just do it this way if you're doing it with steel shafts. If you're starting out, I recommend just use a heat gun. If you practice on some stuff, it's really not as difficult as people think it is. You just have to be prepared to screw up a couple of times on your first go around. So if you can get a hold of some just old junk clubs somewhere, practice on those first before you try to work on your own stuff. But if there's anything you need any help with, you can always comment down below on here or subscribe to my page, because this is really what I'm going to start doing with my page, is just going over builds, going over repairs, how to do this kind of stuff, because there's thousands and thousands of people out there that really do want to learn how to do this kind of stuff in their garage or work on their own stuff, and I have no problem with that. I prefer you take your business to me, but obviously if you're not in East Texas and you're somewhere in the country, I'm more than happy to help you figure out how to do all this stuff on your own and save a little bit of money and have some fun while you're at it. So again, subscribe down below, and if you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you.